So today I want to talk about an idea that I've been sitting with for a while. I like to call it anti-content. So when I am on social media, when I look around at the state of the creator economy, what I see is a lot of sameness. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty bored of a lot of the content. I feel, I go on my feed and I'm not particularly excited for what I'm going to find because everything just looks the same these days. And that makes a lot of sense because everyone is competing for a finite pool of human attention, right? There's only so much attention that a person can give. So if someone clicks on your video, your newsletter, that means that they could be doing something else, but they're choosing to engage with your content. And so the risk then is, what if someone clicks on someone else's content? And so everyone's competing to capture this attention because if you miss out on getting that person's attention, you're not going to be able to compete. So if the risk is that high, obviously the smart step is to not take too many risks. So you copy everyone else. You use Mr. Beast's intro frameworks. You use Alex Hormozy's video topics and whatever it is, and you play it safe because everyone these days understands the importance of social media, but everyone's also getting pretty tired of it. And so I think that there's another way, and there's a way that I think we can avoid this kind of creative bankruptcy that we're seeing a lot online with everything looking and sounding the same, everyone reusing the same viral templates and formats and all that kind of good stuff. And so I call this anti-content. And so all content really is just a bucket for an idea or a concept that you're trying to convey to people. The problem then becomes that because everyone's trying to figure out what good content is, it just means everyone ends up reusing the same bucket, right? For me, the definition of good content is content that people want to consume. And if someone sees, hey, this person's seeing a lot of success with their content, I'm just going to copy them, right? Which means that everyone ends up sounding the same. Like if you think about what is content on LinkedIn, you're probably going to think, my dog died. Here's what I learned about B2B sales, or I'm excited to announce that I'm jumping off a cliff or whatever it is. That's what LinkedIn content looks like. It has this very particular like feeling, texture. The second that you see it, your brain registers and says, that's content. And that's what we're trying to avoid with anti-content because our brains actually have an inbuilt filter, like a mechanism to filter out sameness. So if it's seeing the same content over and over again, what this really just means is that you end up being like wallpaper on a person's feed. They scroll by without even stopping and realizing that they're doing it, right? We want to break out of that trap. And obviously with AI, this is just getting way worse because everyone is using AI, which is basically just the average of all human creativity throughout human existence, and then pumping that out and wondering why they're not seeing extraordinary results. So the antidote to this is what I call anti-content, because what I think most people are struggling with is what I call the 3 Ps, and I've put them up here. I don't know if you can read them. Hopefully you can. It's proximity, personality, and polish. So most content misses those 3 things. What do I mean by proximity? Proximity means that you are close to the content that you're creating. That means that you're invested in it. It's related to what you're doing personally, and you care about this content, right? Most people don't care. They just put stuff out there because they know they should be posting and they want to please the algorithm. So there's no proximity there. Personality is something that everyone online, I think, could do with a lot more of. Personality is just the little things that make you you, the things you're interested in, the things you like doing, the way that you speak, all those kinds of things. That's your personality. That's what we want to be injecting into all of your content, because what that does is it makes your content yours. Pretty key for a personal brand. The last that I put up here is polish. Polish is an interesting one because when I say polish, you might think it needs to be perfectly optimized with the best hook and the best structure and all that kind of thing. That's actually not what I mean. The important thing with polish is that you are using the meta principles and frameworks of what good content should look like. So you're using a compelling hook of some sort. It doesn't have to be a clickbaity hook, but it needs to be a hook of some kind. Is it easy to follow and to read? Is there a storytelling frame and an arc that happens in your content? A lot of the time, if you're just dumping something random or you're reporting on something that happened, there's no frame, there's no structure, there's no payoff at the end, and so people don't engage with it. So we do need to follow the polish of what good content looks like. So if most people are committing the 3 Ps of content sins, let's put it that way, what do we need to do to create anti-content? Because anti-content is content that doesn't feel like content. It doesn't look like content. It's something different, and that's what makes people stop, right? We want it to be novel. We want it to be useful. We want it to be interesting. So we do these 6 things that I put up here. The first is to have a signature style. With a signature style, what I mean is you are creating content in a way that is consistent with how you want to show up online. So if I showed you a post by or a video by Alex Hermosi and I somehow managed to remove Alex from the video, you would still know it's an Alex Hermosi video because that's exactly how he talks. That's what he talks about. That's what he does. He has the same outfit that he wears pretty much every single video. It doesn't take your brain more than like a split second to realize that's Alex Hermosi. The same goes with Mr. Beast or your favorite LinkedIn or Substack or YouTube creator. It doesn't matter. They figured out a format and a way of showing up that works for them, and then they keep doing that consistently. They iterate on it, obviously. You don't want to just be doing the same thing, but they show up in a way that you can recognize them instantly because you want to build that relatability, right? You want people to be able to see you and go, I've engaged with his content in the past. I loved his content in the past. I'm going to engage with this again. Because that's the big mistake that so many people make when they copy big creators is they'll look at like Lara Acosta or Alex Hermosi or whoever it is, and they're like, oh my gosh, let me copy their framework, their post, word for word. And they will never see the same results. Why? Because they're not Lara Acosta. They're not Alex Hermosi. They don't have that relational capital that they've built with their audience, right? If someone sees a post by Lara Acosta, they're going to tune in because it's Lara Acosta and they recognize who it is. So you want to build that recognition by developing a signature style of how you write, how you speak, how you show up, what the videos that you have look like, whatever it is, even the things that you talk about. That matters for your signature style. The second is you need to have a point of view. And I know this is going to scare some people to have a point of view, but having a point of view actually requires you to be either for or against something. It means that you're taking a stand. It means that you're injecting some kind of personality and some kind of an opinion into the things that you create. So if there's something in your industry that you disagree with, you should be standing on the hill, crying out to the masses, telling them why that's wrong. And that's what we want to be injecting into everything. We don't just want to give information. We don't just want to provide data. We want to provide a point of view and a perspective. What that means is, what are you for? What are you against? Why does this matter to you? And why should this matter to your audience, right? A point of view is going to easily distinguish you and create a little bit of friction and also resonance, right? Some people are not going to love it. And that's okay. Some people are going to love it, and that's fantastic. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to appease everyone. We're not trying to appeal to the masses. We're trying to appeal to the right kinds of people. And you do that with a point of view. Third is intentional casualness. A lot of posts and videos and that kind of thing these days are overly optimized, overly edited. We're all familiar with like the style with the flashing lights and the jump cuts and the blah, 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 whatever it is on YouTube. I think people are getting pretty sick of that. It's optimized to kind of connect to your monkey brain and make sure that you don't tune out from whatever it is that the video is about. What you want to have is intentional casualness, meaning that, for example, in your LinkedIn posts, you don't have to like use an excessive amount of white space. You don't have to be allergic to using paragraphs. You don't need to have some perfectly optimized 2-minute YouTube intro for everything that you do. You want to be showing up in a way that shows that you're not even interested in how well your content performs. Obviously you are. You probably care a lot, but you don't want to give off this needy energy, this I need to optimize to get results kind of energy. You want to just show up in a way that's like you're texting your friend. Like you just had this amazing experience and you're texting your friend about what happened and why that was so important to you. Or it's like sitting down with a good friend at a cafe or a bar and giving them some advice. Maybe they came to you with a question. How would you speak to them? Like if you make a YouTube video and you show your mom and she's like, oh my gosh, what even is this? It's probably a good indicator that you are not being intentionally casual and you're probably being a little cringe. Hard pill to swallow, but probably true. So intentional casualness, again, is about the way that you're showing up in a way that's non-needy, in a way that's authentic, in a way that's like you, and not kind of optimizing every single thing that you're doing and overly polishing it and all this stuff. No one needs that. Transformation. A lot of people are on the bandwagon of storytelling, and I think storytelling is very powerful. The reason why storytelling is powerful is because it contains a transformation, right? The world was one way and now it's another way. And that's what a story goes through. And all of your content that you make needs to contain a transformation. This can be either yours or the audience's, or ideally both. You want to say, I was in this place, I was struggling to get leads, my writing sucked, my business was dying, whatever it was. This moment happened, this is what I changed, this is how I did it. And as you tell that story, as you show that transformation, you show your audience that it's possible. You show them hope that they can do it, and then also show them how you did it. And you don't have to give away all of your secrets, but you can show that you are competent through the transformation that you've achieved. This can be your transformation, your client's transformation, or hypothetical transformations for your audience, right? Like if I was in your position, this is what I would do, something like that. So you need to show a clear before and after in all of your content, because people come to you not for information, but because they want to change something in their life. There's something about their life that keeps them up at night, that they're unhappy about, and that you can help them with. You can help make their life better. And so going through this transformation helps people understand what can really change and what that looks like. Okay. And the ultimate goal of all of this is to build a binge bank so that you can farm some God tier reputation. Ideally, what we want to have happen is we want to create content that sucks people in. We have shown up authentically. We've shown our competence. We have a point of view. We're not needy. We're casual about it. We have a style that's recognizable. We've helped people by a transformation that we offer. And then as we do that, as we consistently create content, we create a binge bank. I think this is Sean Puri who first popularized this. So shout out to Sean for coming up with this idea. But what you want is you want people to see a piece of content, be so intrigued by you, your story, your personality, and everything that they have to look at the rest of your content. And maybe they'll consume 1 video, 2 videos, 4 videos. And the more of your content they consume, the more bought in they are to you, what you do, your mechanism, your business, your offer, and everything in between, right? But primarily they're bought into you. And so as you have this binge bank, people are able to become more invested. They're able to consume more of your content, to be convinced by your ideas, your competence, and all these things. And you build a God tier reputation. If people consume more than like 2 to 3 hours of your content, those are the kind of people you want to be selling to, because you will have almost no resistance if your content is good. So all of this goes into your binge bank. That's why posting consistently the right kind of stuff is so important. That's why consistency is an incredibly overrated piece of advice, because if you're consistently doing the wrong thing, it doesn't matter because it's not the right thing. The last thing here, and I haven't filled out, I have these 2 columns here. And this is an exercise I want you to do if you're having a hard time coming up with how you can create anti-content, right? So this is going to help you come up with your point of view and a transformation that you go through, right? On this left column, I want you to write things that your industry is currently doing. This could be trends that are happening, things you disagree with, things that you believe should be done differently. Whatever it is, write down what your industry is currently doing. What are people posting about? Whatever. Then in this other column, I want you to put what you think. How do you think it should be done? How do you approach this differently? Why is your perspective different? And then in your content, focus on this, right? Immediately, you now have a point of view. There's probably a story behind why you think that particular thing. And you're able to make a stand for something. You're selling people on the way that you think and the things that you do. And so I find this a very easy exercise to help you come up with anti-content, because most content that we see online follows the exact same trends. People say the exact same thing. Consistency is so important. If you only hustle from 9 to 5, you're clearly not serious and you're not going to make it, whatever it is. Just doing the simple 2-column exercise will be able to help you come up with your anti-content of what are you saying that no one else is saying, and why does that matter? And so I hope that this gets you to kind of think about what it really means to be producing content, because I would argue that you right now today should stop posting content. No one needs more. No one needs more content. There are millions and millions of videos being uploaded all the time, right? What people are looking for is stuff that doesn't look, feel, smell, taste like content. What people are really looking for is more connection with people. We're looking to build resonance with people. We're trying to genuinely help people achieve the transformation that they're looking for. And so you have to change your perspective away from the numbers, away from performing, away from doing all these things that, if you're being quite honest, are probably not making you particularly happy, and towards a way of showing up that allows you to show up authentically, to talk about what you're really interested in and why that matters, and to actually be able to help and reach more people. because that's what this is ultimately about. We're not making content for the algorithm, we're making content for people. And this that we covered today, this anti-content, is what people are really looking for. A real human being that they can recognize, that has a point of view, that isn't needy, that can help them achieve a transformation, that has the resources that they're looking for, that they need, and can make a difference. So I'm very bullish on the idea of anti-content. I think that this is what we're going to see pop off more and more and more. And I think that if you want to stay ahead of the curve, this is what you need to jump on. I'll leave that choice up to you.